Thank you for joining us today. My name is Eric Stecks. I'm the owner at Reinfall Design. Today we're going to show you how to use some of the tools in Illustrator. First thing you want to do is go to File and New, and we will open a new document. You can have different artboards if you want here. You can change the size of your page, go inches, and all the measurements here. I wouldn't worry about this right now, and this is landscape and horizontal. Let's go ahead and click OK. We got our new document. That's how you open a new document. I'm just going to go to this one that I've already created with company logo so I can use some of the tools. Over here on the left side is where your tools are going to be. If you want, you can actually click this and drag it over here. And it will actually dock it on the file for you. And you could either have the two sides like this, which I prefer, or if you want more space, they'll list all of them down here, but you might miss some of them. First tool here is a selection tool. This is so you can grab your image and move it around. Okay, so that's just grabbing the whole image around. The next tool here is the direct select tool. This will grab just one piece of an image. And I like using the keys to it. So this would be letter A. So hit A and you'll get the direct select tool. If you want to do zoom, which you'll use a lot, is Z. And I just draw a box around there and that'll zoom. If you hold Alt and then click while you're on zoom, it'll zoom out for you. Okay, so let's zoom back in here. Let's reselect the direct tool. So not only does it take one piece out of your whole image, this vector image, but this way you can take each little node. Each point here is called the node. You can take each point and manipulate it however you want. That is the direct select tool. And if you double click here on the hand, that's to move like the page around just to see where you're at. If you double click that, it will always center it for you. Alright, the next tool is a magic wand tool, and this is going to grab specific color or transparency. If you double click this, the tolerance is typically 0. And that'll grab just anything that's close to, let's say, black or red. But if you want only this specific black, you're going to come here and put 0. So when I click this with the magic wand tool, I can close this out. It'll click just the black, and this will just click the red. So that's really convenient if you need to quickly grab something. The lasso tool will grab just certain nodes. Now, as you can see, it'll grab even if it's not selected. So let's say I just want these top 2 points. You'll see that these are selected. They're selected when they're filled in blue there, and they're non-selected when they're white box, like that. So that's not selected, the other one is. So let's zoom back out. So that's the lasso tool. Just in case you wanted to modify a couple of them, we'll use both tools. We'll use the lasso tool, and then we'll go to direct select tool. And see we're moving all those points that we used with the lasso tool. Okay, the next one is the pen tool. Fun one. That's where you start getting creative, designing stuff. And if you hold down spacebar if you hold down spacebar, does the hand tool, and you can click and maneuver where you want instead of coming here and clicking here. You can use the H tool, or it is the spacebar as well. So we got the pen tool, and this will draw whatever you want. Okay? And your shape that you draw will never be closed until you click back on the first one you did. So let's go, I'm going to use Control Y, and that is going to bring me to the outline mode, or you can go here, and that'll show you just the nodes. That'll take you out of the color preview. You can see that these are not connected. So if I was to go and make a stroke, you'll also see that they're not connected. So you always want to connect your points. And to do that, you'll just click the last node. Using Control Y, outline mode, you'll see it's connected. Okay, so this is called the fill. Completely filled in. If you wanted a stroke line, come here, you swap fill and stroke. So Shift X. So you can switch it between a fill and a stroke by hitting Shift X or the little button here. Sometimes you're going to want to do that. And we got strokes over here, so you can change the size of that. You can change the cap, so that's going to be here. The corners, which are going to be here, so you'll see they'll round out if you do it this way. You can do the bevel, which will completely cut that off. I don't use that too often, mainly the round. Control Z does undo. So if I just keep going undo, back to my solid image. There we go, we got that back. So you'll use this a lot if you get a raster image and you want to recreate that. You're going to use the pen tool quite a bit. So you hit backspace to delete. Next tool, we're going to go with the type tool. Okay. So usually you don't want to draw a box and type because you'll see that it'll just go within that box. So that's not what we're ever looking for. So all you want to do is click once and type whatever you want. Okay. Up here, or if you hit Control T, bring up the character box. So this is where you can manipulate all your character. So let's say I want to do 100, and we could change the font to whatever looks cool. Let's just go. Here's a simple block font. You can do it that way, and again, you can make it a stroke. Later on in another tutorial, I will go over more in depth with text because there is a lot you can do. Here's all you're going to be your type, but you can draw on circles, you can warp text, you can make it look really, really cool with outlines and everything. So, just for this tutorial, we're just going to show you each tool. So you can go up and down, you know, the height, horizontal, vertical. The baseline is going to be moving this up, down. The tracking is going to be in between each letter. You'll see as I raise it. And all I'm doing is clicking in here and I'm moving the roller on my mouse to move up. You can also do it this way, or you can click there and you got more specific. So that's for text. Next is the line segment tool. And basically, I'm drawing a line, and you'll see it's filled with no stroke, so you can't really see it if I deselect it. Okay, so to select stuff, I always just use a selection tool right here, and I'll just draw over it and I'll select it. So I want to give it some color so I see what I'm doing, so I'll go color here. If you double click in there, it'll bring up the color box here and you can change the color. Or if you double click in either the fill or stroke here, and then you could just pick whatever you want. Okay, so the cool thing about, or a nice thing to know, is when you're drawing, if you click once and you're holding it, right? So if I hold shift, it'll keep it in a straight line. So if you're ever looking for making horizontal lines or straight up and down lines, me trying to do it without the shift, I can do it, but it's just so much easier. See, it looks good, but it's still, if you go to outline view, it's still not straight. There's some more tools that I typically don't use, but you can look through. If you hold them down, um, there's more to use. The add anchor is if you, let's say I made a square, and the outline view, you'll see when I select it, there's only 4 points here. If I want to add a point, do it that way. Now I could use the direct select tool and modify that point. Okay, so if you hold down here, there are more to do. And this is convert anchor is if you have like a rounded point. Let's go here. Watch this. Now, when you're using the tool, if you want to have a curve, what you want to do is, let's say I want to do an arch right here. I'm going to curve. I have to click a point and curve it, okay? So we can do it like that. Now, if I added a point here, if you have it in your settings on pen tool and preferences, general, this is probably what your settings you're going to want to look like. You want to scale the strokes and effects, because when you make the stroke bigger, when you make an image bigger, if you don't have that selected, it'll keep it, it won't do it proportional. I don't like to double click to isolate. If you have this click, disable auto add delete there, then you won't be able to just auto add these points. It'll not do that. So if you're wondering why that's not working, that's why. Okay, so back to this convert anchor point. Now watch what happens when I click the curve point. It makes it automatically a straight point on there. So we got another point here. Makes it a straight point. So that's a really nice tool if you're trying to manipulate a curve. Okay, and onto the curve, back to the curve really quick. I know I'm going out of order here, but as I see them, I just want to go over. So if you have a curve, it's going to have a Bezier line, and that's this little curved line here, and that's what's going to manipulate the curves here. So let's say I want to make a little point here, move it over here, and it just doesn't look right. So I can use these, and holding them down, you can see you can manipulate the curve. Okay, so if you bring it back more, you'll see it's a nicer curve. So you see how it kind of like falls down there, but I went ahead and just pulled it out a little bit. You have to use the direct select tool to see these. If you hit the regular one, it'll select all of them. Alright, and you can't just select this. You gotta either select the node or draw a box around just the node. I tend to use that more than this lasso tool because it's just easier just to draw a quick box around. See how that one's selected? Let's get rid of that. Alright, here we go. Here's more interesting ones. Here's shapes. So I'm going to zoom out. That's zoom and then alt while I'm clicking. So we got square. Now, it'll come like this, right? When you're doing it. But if you hold shift and alt, it'll go from the center and make you a perfect shape. Okay? So let's go here. Rounded rectangle, same as rectangle, just got rounded edges. If I hold shift and alt, then it will do square for me. Or you can move it around. If you hold just alt, it'll just go from the center, but it won't keep it a perfect proportion. And if you want, when you delete it, if you ever click on the rectangle tools or any of the shapes and you just click once, you can do exact dimensions. Now the corner radius is going to be, the curve around here. So let's just do, click here and just do 2 inch by 2 inch. And you'll see we got that curve. Now let's do another one. Let's make the corner radius 0.5. See how that changes? So we're not going more from the square, so the bigger the corner radius, the bigger it's going to be a nice smooth curve. So let's delete that. Ellipse tool, do oval or whatever, or you can hold down Alt and it'll go from the center. But if you hold down Shift and Alt, then you got a perfect circle. Okay, That's what I almost always do that. Shift and Alt. It works wonders. You got a polygon tool. Star tool. Okay. Got a flare tool. I don't typically use it too much, but you can go through and mess around with it. Alright, you got a paintbrush tool. So this is where you're going to just draw crazy things, whatever you want. I don't tend to use it too much. I like to use the pen tool here. You'll see the points are connected after this. So you could do two options. You could go to the pen tool, select one end, select the other to close it, or you can direct select both. If you right click here and hit join, it'll connect both. So now you can make it a fill. So that's just a paintbrush tool there. Pencil tool is very similar. A little thinner line. So these are common sense, just to draw around here. Okay, so smooth and path erase tool. So let's do this. Let's draw something. Now you'll see if I draw and this is not connected. Check this out. While I'm drawing, if you hold down Alt, it'll automatically, no matter where it is, it'll connect the last 2 points for you. Isn't that cool? There's a lot of tricks that you'll see that I'll do that will make your job or the time you spend on this so much quicker. It's good to use the quick tools and learn from these. I've been doing this for about 15 years now. Alright, so let's draw shape. Okay, so let's say I got the shape here, right? And let's say I don't like this. I want to make it more round, so just so it looks better. So you come here with the smooth tool, and it'll take you a little bit of time, but as you just click and draw like in the direction, it'll automatically just start smoothing those out for you. And this is such a cool tool. I mean, it's not the best now, but let's look at this compared to how it used to be. Okay, so you see. Alright, so then path erase tool will take away points from whatever point you draw. So let's say I want this point gone, but I want to kind of the same angle, go like that. Just draw on that line. You have to have it selected, and then you'll see the path is gone. Okay. Blob brush tool I don't really use. Maybe I'll do a tutorial later on that. Eraser tool. Alright, so let's go back to, let's just do shape. Now, when you're using these tools, most of them, if you're manipulating the image you're using, you're gonna have to have it selected. So you could just click on it with the direct select tool, or with the regular selection tool, sorry. Or you could just draw a box around the whole image with the direct select tool. So, erase, and you can make it bigger or smaller using the brackets, left or right bracket. But what this is going to do is that'll delete all the points. Watch. See how that did that? So I took that one image, and wherever it just got rid of. Scissor tool, that is going to delete a couple points. If I click right there now, you'll see that it cut this point off that point. So if you're looking to do that, knife tool, if you want to cut something in half or whatever in a crazy shape, you'll see that's what that does. Alright, so we got rotate tool. So that's just as long as you have it selected. If you hold down shift, it'll go in, I think, 45-degree angles. If you want it shifted, let's say you want to shift 90, you select the tool and double click it. Just type in 90. There we go. Okay, so a lot of these tools, you can double select them or double click them. And so this one right here is a scale tool. So if I want to scale it 50%, type that in. Or you could just manually do it like that. So you would select it. It's same if you do a regular selection tool. You could drop it down like that. Now what I did was copy it. Really cool. Let me show you this before I forget. I'll just scale that down. So if you want to copy something, okay, so I can move this around, right? If I hold shift, it's only going in those, that 45-degree angle, horizontal, vertical. Now, you can copy it by holding down Alt. Okay, let's do that again. Click it. You want to click and hold down on the shape. So I'm moving it. Now if you hold Alt, you'll see that double arrow pop up. That means you're copying it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Alt and let go of the mouse and it'll copy it. If you want to copy it straight across, then you're going to hold down Shift. So you got perfect right next to it. It's really a neat tool too. I don't use the width tool, free transform tool, don't use that. Shape builder tool, the only thing I use is the live bucket tool. And we'll get into that more. That's pretty cool. That's a newer feature that comes in very handy if you have no fills. This is a perspective grid tool. So if you're trying to do 3D, it's got angles that help you go through there. If you want to get rid of it, just click out there. You can do a mesh tool and add points to it. So let's say if this was more of like a gradient. Oh, I can't do it now that it's already meshed. But this will put points in the middle, and you'll see later that you can manipulate things to warp your image. So we'll go into that in another tutorial. Mesh tool, gradient tool. So if you want your gradient linear, this is where it would happen. Any of these windows over here can be found in window, and you would just click here. So if I hit gradient, it's gonna make the gradient disappear. I'll come back. So you got radial and linear here. So by doing this, you can hold down Shift and draw to change your degree. If you come in here while it's selected, you can change the gradient that way, or you can change it right here. Now, this is all as long as you have this shape selected. So if I deselect that and I try manipulating that, it's not doing anything. That's because I have to select this. Change gradient there. Okay. Undo, Control Z until I get back to a regular shape. Gradient tool. Eyedropper tool. Let's say, let's just change the color here. Whatever. Okay, so let's say I want this to be the same color as that. Just come here, have this selected, grab the eyedrop tool, and click whatever color I want. Okay, on the image. Blend tool, that's if you have multiple colors. Let's see if I can do it really quick. I'll go more in depth than another. So I'll just here, I have my own swatch palette, which has like all my stock, or the stock colors for Rainfall. Alright. If you hit Control U, it does smart guides, which is so convenient when you want something to butt up against each other. So I'm holding Shift and Alt, so I'm going to copy this right next to it. And then I want white, and then I want to copy that and make it blue. So if you guys want my palette, this is all my print colors. So if you're ever wanting to do a shirt or you're planning on doing your own design, I I'd be happy to send this to you and show you how to install it. And you can make your own color charts. Alright, so let's grab all three of these. Red, white, and blue. Alright, see. So by clicking, it's taking those three shapes and blending them together. Similar to gradient, but when you got more in-depth design, it comes in very handy. Okay, we already did the eyedrop tool. Symbol sprayer, I don't really use it too much, but you can create symbols, like if you have a logo and you want it scattered across, you can use it that way. You can do actually graph tools, you know, and if you're wanting whatever, and they got plenty of different graphs that you can do, and you can modify it if you're making something for your company to show plus or minus or gains. That's just something I use for my company. It's just a circle. The artboard tool. Okay, so select all this with the regular select tool. That's V. That's going to be your best friend. Now, if I double click the hand, it'll bring you back to center. So the artboard, when you click that, that's going to create your artboard. Alright, you can manipulate your artboard size, and the size is up here. Yeah, it's standard width 11 by 8.5. By doing that, you can actually create multiple artboards. If this is clicked, then it's going to move everything within your artboard. If you move your artboard, so watch it. I'm moving that, but if I deselect this, it'll move the artboard, but not what's in the middle. Okay, so if you're wanting to duplicate this onto a new artboard, so basically if I was to hit Control P, every artboard would be printed on its own page. So if you're looking to do something like that, then if you hold a Shift or Alt, as usual, remember Alt when you're selecting something will copy it. If I hold Shift, it'll do it straight across or straight underneath. Alright, so now I have two artboards of the same logo. So if you wanted one artboard and then you want to come here and change, your logo to that, so then you have two different ones. So if you save it as a PDF, this is going to save it on two different pages. Okay, so that's the artboard. I'll go more in depth in that tool because they have presets here for whatever size you're needing. Typically, I'll just start with the letter page. Now this is cool. So if let's say I wanted my artboard to be the same exact size as this, so when I save it as a JPEG, it's saving just this image and not all this extra white. If you select that, go to the artboard, go to fit the selected art, and now your artboard is exactly on there. Okay, so when you go to save for the web, you got just this artboard. So save for the web is when you're going to want to save a JPEG or a GIF of whatever you're doing, PNG, okay? So when you're done with the product, if you ever go save for web, that's how you're going to save it as a JPEG or any of those things. The hand tool, like I said, just moves it around. Here's a slice tool. If you use slices, I don't really tend to use slices, but if you're wanting to slice things into different pages, you can use that. And zoom, that's just, you can draw a box around by clicking and dropping. You can hold Alt and clicking and it'll drop it, or just click more for that. So this is first tutorial for at least the tools here. I'll come back and I'll show you how to start designing, how to recreate stuff, the difference between a raster image and a vector image. But please like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll start sending out more tutorial videos on Illustrator, and then we will also be doing some for Photoshop. Visit us online at www.reinfalldesign.com, And we'll set up a link here for you. Thank you. Have a great day.